And when you talk about labours, you say even after the budget, you're not all that clear on what they're going to do, because it's a so-called soft cap. They go beyond a certain level, and beyond that, they need to provide more housing. So that's the principle, but you don't know how it'll work or what the numbers are, essentially?
That's the principle, but what's the baseline? What numbers are we looking at? Are we looking at 2019 numbers, 2023 numbers? Are there exclusions? We do know, for example, that PhD students will be exempt from that particular cohort, so that's a good outcome. But we are now in discussion with the federal government about exactly what that detail is.
Right. Lots of discussion to have. I'm just interested as well. So the 2022-23 year saw a massive number of temporary migrants, including students, come in. Are we going to see the year 3 years after that, so to be 25-26, actually their contribution to net migration will be a downwards one, because graduates at that point, at least a large number of them go home, and you won't have the same number coming into the system. So is that something that maybe when you explain that detail, that particular year, and what international students will do on net migration will actually be a downward pressure on it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, there was a huge increase after COVID. You would expect that, a lot of pent-up demand. And we're already seeing visa applications starting to level off now. Now, that could be some of the signalling which is going out into the market, but you would anticipate that will level off and continue to level off. So in many ways, this is a market, and the market will drive itself. We're not opposed to having a discussion with the federal government or the opposition on what the number of international students should be in Australia. But what we are struggling with is just a blunt instrument in terms of putting caps on with no sort of detail sitting behind either of the policies.
Sounds like you'll be working the phones. We'll let you get away and see you can get on to Vicki Thomson. Appreciate your time today.